Peace, family. I don't know if any of the family has heard, but it was a horrific event that just took place down there in Georgia at Apalachee High School. A young 14-year-old shooter by the name of um, Colt Gray. If you ask me, he was more of a devil, but we'll get back to him later on in the video. First off, I want to start by saying my condolences to his two young victims that were attending that school, 14-year-old Christian Angelou and Mason Sherman home, both 14, and to those two teachers that lost their lives, Richard Aspinwall and Christian Ermy. And from what I gather, the students were actually talking about Richard Aspinwall. He was actually a good teacher that looked after his kids and took his job seriously. You know what I mean? He went above and beyond the call of duty. And I want to say, there was 9 other people injured as well. So hopefully they have a speedy recovery. They say it might be more, but as of now, the report says that it's 9 people that's also been injured along in this horrific event. If you ask me, this Cold Gray was a no good uh, devil, if you ask me. And they always try to flip it when it regards somebody that got the complexion for the protection that's from the dominant white society. Or was there any other health issues, this, that, or the other? Try to dress them up to make them look like some kind of kid that just was a good kid and faced all of this stuff in life and just all of that added to him going out here committing this nonsense. Nah, that ain't the case. In my opinion, this was just a no good, rotten kid. A bad seed, a devil. And let's just call this thing for what it is. I don't understand that, nor do I respect it. You just wake up one morning and say, "Oh, I want to go harm a bunch of innocent people." Insane. I don't respect it. And they say the FBI had reports maybe a year or two ago that this kid was actually making threats. They had him under a microscope because they were investigating him. And the question I posed to that, if y'all was investigating him, why didn't y'all keep him under the microscope? Maybe y'all could have deterred this nonsense from happening because y'all already had some kind of hint that he was up to no good and maybe he was a threat to the safety of the public. So y'all should have, investigated this a little bit more, if you ask me. But because if this was somebody, one of our own, one of our kids that done this horrendous event, they would have exterminated and eradicated him on the scene. And this young devil was brought into custody, insane, you know. But this is him having a complexion for the protection. People from the dominant white society look after and take care of their own because they said he went into the school with an AR-15 style rifle and one of the school security guards engaged him and then was able to bring him into the custody alive. And the kids and that was there, the rest of the kids say they was trampling over people, blood was everywhere. It was just a real horrific scene. And these kids will probably be traumatized for the rest of their life from this nonsense, truth be told. But I want to put the tinfoil kufi on this one, family, because every time one of these atrocities is committed, these mass shootings, etc., they always want to say it was an AR-15 style rifle. We got to pay attention to that when they always say it was an AR-15 style rifle, because I think it's something more to that, truth be told, because the Democratic Party, and it's a presidential election season, they already want to take away people's guns. But the problem with that is that if you take away decent, hardworking people's guns that get up and go to work every morning, that get their guns legally just to protect themselves, you leave them vulnerable to the criminal class because the criminal class don't get their guns legally. They get them off the streets, and you make the decent, hardworking citizens, if you take their guns, you make them sitting ducks. You leave them vulnerable, and you'll send them up Shit's Creek without a paddle. But we got to watch out for that, because they always say that AR-15 style rifle, and they always talking about taking people's guns, that Democratic plantation. But it's just a sad situation. And this kid was brought into custody. So Cole Gray, devil, I keep calling him a kid. He's more of a devil, if you ask me. He was brought into custody, and we got to watch out and make sure he gets everything he deserves and not get off with a slap on the wrist, because he got the complexion for the protection. Because people from the dominant white society will look out for him because they view these kinds of kids as they own. They see their own kid in him through his eyes. So we got to watch out for that. And if it was one of our kids, truth be told, he wouldn't have even made it off the scene. You know that. But you don't find our kids going around committing this nonsense. It's mostly people when we talk about these school shootings and people that just get up one morning and say, hey, I want to go do this to a bunch of innocent people. It's mostly people from the dominant white society. We got to keep this thing all the way a buck, keep this thing real and be real about it, you know. But I'm gonna have I'm maybe gonna put the victims in this video. I'll show the victims in this video. I'll edit it in some way, and then I'll have the actual shooter. They got only a kid picture of him, you know, trying to make him look innocent. But I'll put him up, the kid, the devil that committed these acts. I'll put him up in the thumbnail and put the victims in the video. I try to edit them into the video. But I want to say once again, R.I.P. to all of those victims, the teachers, and the innocent kids that lost their lives in this situation, and to those 9 other people, maybe more, maybe less. I want to wish them a speedy recovery. Just my thoughts on the matter, but this was an insane one, family. Peace.